going to start to meet some of the deep muscles of the back that are important in extending the vertebral column and maintaining posture. I know this looks really, really complicated. Don't worry, you're not learning all of these. You're certainly not learning them. You're going to learn most of them in groups. So don't freak out. You can do this. These are really complex. They overlap a lot. And they're all covered by the superficial back muscles. So on these diagrams, rather than superficial and deep, we have deep on the left and then deeper on the right. Okay? All right, so the first group are called the Erector spinae group, and what they do is they keep your spine erect. I know, clever, right? So this is a main group of muscles that maintains posture. If you contract one side of them, they're going to laterally flex the spine so you can bend left and right. Primarily, though, they're going to extend the spine, extend the vertebral column. If you contract them really hard, you can do a back bend. All right, there are three groups of muscles within this Erector spinae group. So we have a group made up of three groups. And the reason these are groups of muscles is because there are really complex origins and insertions, and the whole muscle doesn't extend the whole way. Okay, so we have one little one here, one here, one here that all make up this group. Okay, and we're just going to learn this as a whole group. All right, so the iliocostalis group, wait for it, connects the ilium to the ribs, the costals. Get it? Iliocostalis. This is the most lateral of the three parts of the Erector spinae group. The next is the longissimus. It's, wait for us, the longest one. Okay, goes all the way from the cervical vertebrae to the sacrum. And then the spinalis group is the one that is closest to the spine. It inserts on the spinous processes of the vertebrae and runs right along the vertebral column. Okay, and when someone has a really well-developed Erector spinae group, you can really see clearly, especially at the bottom, these tendons of that Erector spinae group. Okay, so Erector spinae group made up of iliocostalis, longissimus, and spinalis groups. Now, deep to those are the transversospinalis group, which is another complex group of muscles, and these tend to be they are all much shorter, and not all of them go all the way along. I just want you to know them as one group. Ones you may have heard of by themselves are this multifidus group down at the bottom that connects especially the lumbar vertebrae to the sacrum. So these are really important for lower back strength. The rest of these, here's them all together, and then you can see here it kind of zoomed in on one portion of this, and you can see that they connect one vertebra to the next, or one vertebra, skip one, connect to the next. So they connect adjacent or very close vertebrae to each other. They run straight and oblique, and so they can do not just extension of the spine, but they can also help to rotate the spine. So any kind of twisting of the spine is going to use these muscles here. So that's the transversospinalis group. All right, now one more set of muscles deep to the Erector spinae group and sits alongside this transversospinalis group, but a little more laterally, is the Quadratus lumborum. Okay, when we have quadratus, that means a muscle that's mostly sort of rectangular shaped. Doesn't really look that rectangular from here, but trust me, it is. From the front, you'll see that it looks really rectangular. Lumborum, of course, because it's in the lumbar region. When you contract both of these, you extend the lumbar portion of the vertebral column. You also pull the 12th rib toward the ilium. Okay. When you contract one side, you laterally flex the lumbar portion of the vertebral column. This is really, really deep. Okay, so it's deep to not just the Erector spinae muscles, but also the abdominal muscles. That's what these are. Okay, deep to the latissimus dorsi. And so the best way to see it is actually not from the back, but from the front. So this is an abdomen with the front of the abdomen and the organs removed, okay? And this is the quadratus lumborum here. Okay, here's the iliac crest there. This top part, this is the diaphragm. So the quadratus lumborum goes from this 12th rib here, okay, to the ilium, and kind of peeks out from behind the diaphragm here in the abdominal cavity. Okay, so that's the quadratus lumborum. On our models, this is the back of the model. Sorry, his arms got removed. Sorry, buddy. Here's the erector spinae group. It's kind of hard on this model to determine which part of this is the iliocostalis and where the longissimus starts and ends. So I would just say, what's this group? And you would say, this is the erector spinae group. Okay? And then the other muscles that we've talked about, the transversospinalis, we can't see them on here at all because they're covered up by these erector spinaes. What we can see is the quadratus lumborum right here. We can just see a little portion of it peeking out behind the kidneys. Okay, so there's the kidneys. This is the diaphragm. There's the iliac crest. Okay, that's the little portion of the quadratus lumborum. All right, so on the next portion, we're going to work our way a little farther down the trunk and actually back up as well and learn about all these muscles of respiration.